Alright, y'all, let's knock this out. Okay, let's knock this out. I want to talk about the controversy that's going on now between the Grinch, Cerulean Gray, and Suge. And this is my opinion. You know, I'm not no huge fan of the Grinch. You know, I'm not no huge fan of him. But at the same time, I'm not going to disparage him. You know, I'm not going to disparage his character or anything like that. You know, I don't believe in that. You know. At the same time, I'm not a big fan of his. I'm not a big fan of his presentation. I'm not a big fan of his views on certain things and the way he gets down. Okay? And, you know, I'm not a big fan of a lot of his opinions on certain things. Okay? But I feel that the issue with the Grinch, okay, is that he's tied in with the whole Cerulean, the whole Black Order. You know, Angry Man, Cerulean, BTS, all those guys over there. And the Black Order has a lot of issues and problems in and of itself. And I feel that a lot of those issues and a lot of those problems are now being exemplified in the Grinch. You know, in a lot of his issues and a lot of his problems and stuff. You know. And I feel he's an intelligent guy. Don't get me wrong, he's an intelligent guy. I haven't read his book. I'm gonna have to go read his book. I'm gonna have to go get a copy of his book and read it myself. And then give a synopsis of it. Okay. But as far as the Grinch, okay, he gets into it with these people. He's getting into it with Suge, and Suge is no one to be played with, you know, because Suge single-handedly brought down and exposed Nyla and Taz. Okay, so I don't think it's smart for the Grinch to be trying to go at Suge like that, or to be trying to attack Suge and stuff like that. I don't think that's smart, and I believe he's doing it, you know, at the behest of basically of you know, of Nyla and Taz, because Nyla and Taz have this thing with the Black Order. But I think they're mad at Angry Man. Are they mad at Angry Man now or something like that? I believe so. But I know that Nyla and Taz, at one point, they were trying to get in bed with the Black Order and the Angry Man and stuff like that. You know. And the Grinch and stuff like that. And it was always on their channels and in their hangouts and stuff like that. You know. And I feel like the Grinch kind of aligned himself with them. You know, so I feel that what ended up happening is that the hold on a second. What ended up happening is that a lot of the misfortune that you saw befall Nyla and Taz, you know, because of you know, because of their whole, wow, hold on. Okay, because of their issues with the Grinch, or with Suge, now a lot of that stuff is befalling the Grinch. Now, my thing is this. You know, and the Grinch made a really good point in his hangout when he talked about it in his most recent hangout. He said, you know, how is the Grinch like supposed to be in his late 20s, but he only hangs out with like 40-something-year-old guys? You know, he claims that he had all these homies and stuff in the Navy, and that all these homies and stuff oh, sorry about that. Oh, let me try this. That he grew up with, you know, and when he was a foster kid, and you know, and growing up in Atlanta and all of that, you know. So he claims that he has all these, you know, homies and stuff, you know, that he kick it with and stuff, you know. But it's like when you observe him, it's like he has no peers. It's like the only people he really kick it with is the guys in the Black Order and the guys at those hangouts and stuff. That appears to be like the only people he appears to be, you know, fucking with like that, and that whole type of thing. And should I say it? You know, he's made constant roast videos about people, including me. Okay, but he's made these constant roast videos making fun of people. At one point, he was making fun of an older black gentleman. I believe, you know, I've seen him in a few hangouts. I've been in a few hangouts. I don't know his screen name, but he was trying to call him a simp and all that. Now let's talk about that, because that's another thing. These Manosphere guys, they always accusing other people of being simps and being and disparaging other people, you know. But as soon as they run into a roadblock, or as soon as they run into tough times, or as soon as they run into a situation where it's hard for them, you know, then all of a sudden they how should I say it? Soon as they run into some shit, you know, they ready to, you know, they ready to cry foul. As soon as someone talk about them, or as soon as Suge or somebody talk about them, you know, they ready to go run back to their homies and stuff and complain and all that type of stuff. You know, and you know, the Grinch has definitely participated in this whole gang mentality that they have, or they want to go attack people. You know, the Black Order, they want to go attack people in like these big, large groups and stuff like that. 8 motherfuckers in a hangout. You see that with the Gray Faulkner Initiative and stuff like that. They'll, you know, come in 8 strong in a hangout to try to dominate the conversation and stuff like that. You know, but these guys, they don't really stand strong on their own 2 feet by themselves. You know, they gotta, and even when they come with a group, they're not, you know, they're not really all that formidable. Like, I don't see them really winning a lot of debates or a lot of arguments with people. I just don't see that. You know what I mean? That's just not something I see. I don't see them winning a lot of people over to their cause. You know, that's just not something that I see. Is the Gray Faulkner Initiative, are they signing a lot of black boys up for the military like what they said they were going to do? Because I tried to ask them that one time and I didn't get no response or answer. You know, but these guys, they come up with these notions and these ideas and these initiatives and stuff, and they expect people to follow them, but then when you kind of look at them, you don't really see nobody following them. You just kind of see the same old, you know, hangers-on around them that are going to support them anyways, but you don't see too many people, you know, or at least I don't see too many people, you know, really taking these guys seriously to the point where it looks like they're going to get a lot of support in that whole type of thing. But that's just me. You know, at the end of the day, that's just me at the end of the day. You know, I could be wrong. I could, you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm right. I'm always going to be right on this, but that's just how I see it. That's just how I feel. You know, and as far as him always attacking other men, you know, these Manosphere guys, always attacking other men. They claim that they're for men, okay? But every time you look around, they're attacking other men, calling other men simps, you know, for wanting to be family men and for wanting to take care of their women and do nice things for their women and have a relation, you know, a reciprocal relationship with the opposite sex. These guys, and the Grinch has done this, they take it upon themselves to attack other men under those circumstances, and I find that very, very problematic. You know, why do they let it bother them that certain men, you know, have relations, you know, certain types of relations with certain women? Why do they make that their business? Why is it their business to police other men and the relations and stuff of other men? I find that extremely weird. You know? I find that extremely weird. You know? That's weird to me. How should I say it? You know, and it's this never-ending thing. You know, and then they got this thing, they only want to let other men into the hangout, so y'all completely disassociate yourself from women. Okay? But you only want other men in the hangout, and then at that point, it's only other men that agree with you or that are going along with your narrative that you want in there. Okay? You guys don't like debate because you guys are hanging out around BGS, and we all know BGS is notorious for, you know, evading true debate, for sham debates, for using his, leading questions and using his age to give this false sense of righteousness in his debates and stuff like that. And that's who these guys have chosen to attach themselves to. Okay? You know. They attach themselves to people like that. They attach themselves to people like BGS Ibn, you know, who is a horrible debater and not an inspiring figure at all. A lot of people who used to fuck with BGS Ibn don't fuck with him anymore for various reasons. And it's because of his mindset, it's, you know what I mean, and because of the way he looks at the world. And another thing that I find problematic within the Grinch is, like I said, I haven't read his book yet, but as soon as I read his book, I'm going to give you guys a synopsis of it and tell y'all what I think about it and that whole thing. But another problem I have with him is I feel that his relationship with his mother, you know, this really bad relationship that he had with his mother, has prejudiced him against women. That's just how I feel, you know. I understand he grew up rough. I understand his mama abandoned him at an early age and that kind of thing. And he never had no normal relationship with his mama. I get it. But at the same time, you know, it's, you know, it's when you use that backdrop to paint your relations and stuff with other women, and I mean with women at large, I don't think that's a good thing. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a good thing. I'm not so sure that's the greatest thing. You know? Is it the greatest thing to have, you know, someone like him as the one who goes out there and speaks about women, given his past bad relationship with women in his life? You know what I mean? That's another thing. And then my biggest personal issue with him is how low class that he is. He's always, when in his videos, he's always using all this gutter street, like Atlanta slang and all this, like he on the block. Like, why does he feel that whenever he has to talk to a black audience, or he has to talk to black people, he got to use this gutter slang and all this gutter talk and all that? I thought that was so corny. And when I saw his video, I'm like, are you serious? You know what I mean? When I saw his video, I'm like, are you serious, bro? Like, this is how you gonna conduct yourself? Like, here you are, you have a platform to speak to the black community about all types of issues, and you have the ability to be very influential in that whole type of thing. And then you get around black people, and then you behave like that. You behave like a clown. You sit up there and you talking like you some, like you some Atlanta street nigga and all that kind of stuff, and that's a turnoff. That's a turnoff to a lot of intelligent people who otherwise would have followed you. Instead, they feel insulted and disrespected. Because of your mindset and the way you are speaking to them, and you speak to black people as if they are not capable of holding intelligent conversation. And that's a problem. That's a big problem, man. You may not see it as a problem. Okay? You may not see it as a problem, but believe you me, that's a problem. That's something you need to look into. And it made me not take him seriously. It made me not take a lot of his videos seriously, because I was watching some of his videos when he first came on and stuff, and I was watching some of the stuff, and I saw how he was determined to sit up there and act like an Atlanta street goon and that kind of stuff, and give off this aura and stuff, and then I was turned off. And then, not to mention the whole lower class mindset. I mean, this is the kind of guy who is misleading guys, because Grinch, he really comes off as the kind of guy that, to me, that uses women. Now, a lot of people might say, well, you don't know him, he's not like that. But, I'm just going off of the vibes that I get from him. He made videos talking about telling men, don't do nice things for women, don't buy no women nothing. Every relationship is a transaction. You need to be getting something, and it's this whole kind of bitter, warped view of reality and male-female relations that I don't think is going to be good for the majority of men out there. Now, a lot of that stuff may have worked for him. Okay, he is a pretty boy. Okay, he looks a certain kind of way, and we know how women in the community look at certain black men a certain kind of way, or may treat certain black men a certain kind of way. If they give off a certain type of kind of demeanor, or whatever it is, or what have you, we know in our community there are women who will let certain men just lay up on them and not even work, but as long as this dude looks a certain way, or he's a certain kind of dude, she'll tolerate a lot of shit from that dude. Okay, now for those dudes, that type of playbook may work, but it may not work for the average man, and I think that is what it was so misleading about his message. Okay, is that his message is really for a certain type of demographic of dude that he fits, but it's not necessarily going to be for all men. Okay, Then he was running around. I think this is what got him in trouble, running around calling people strags and stuff. Calling women strags, calling people strags. Look, I'm all for constructive discourse in the community and constructive criticism of various sectors and stuff in our community. Okay, I offer constructive criticism of females in our community. Okay, but to make it a catch line and a punch line and stuff like that, I think Tommy Sotomayor already capitalized off of that and mastered that. You know, and Tommy did that for years, but see, Tommy has years under his belt, okay, where he mastered that craft. You know, and then Tommy had many YouTube channels, and a lot of his channels and stuff got kicked off over the years, and he went through demonetization and all that kind of stuff over the years. He did that for years, you know. So I don't think you quite there yet, Grinch. I don't think you ready to beat someone like Tommy Sotomayor, you know, at his own game. I don't think you're quite ready. I don't think you're quite there yet. The day may come where you may get there, okay? But I don't believe that you're quite there yet. And I think what happened with the Grinch is that as he was going along and he was doing his little programming and he was doing the strag routine and all of that, somebody saw those videos and was offended. And that's one thing you gotta always take into account as a YouTuber, that when you make YouTube videos, there is always that chance that someone may see something in your video. You may not find it offensive, but somebody else will. Late last year, I had a video called Criticizing the Civil Rights Generation. Somebody found that shit offensive and they took the shit off. I have an idea of who I think might have been behind it, but I'm not going to say any names. But they flagged that video down, and I got like a community strike because of that. And couldn't post for a little while. Okay? I have to wait till January of this year to post on this channel. You know? It's crazy. So, that's something you're going to have to learn, Grinch. Because you may be on here, you may feel that you're righteous, you may feel that you're in the right, or that you know, the universe is on your side, or God is on your side, or God is on the side of you and your homies, you and your Grey Faulkner Initiative, you know, Black Order homies or whatever. You may feel that God is on your side and that y'all are right and y'all are righteous, but that doesn't mean that someone somewhere out there may or may not find your message problematic or offensive and may see fit to attack your message. Okay? So you have to take that into account. You know, you have to take that into account. How should I say it? It is what it is. And I feel that these guys, you know, they never anticipate for this. You should have already had a couple of backup channels, Grinch. You should have downloaded all your videos. Okay, had a couple of backup channels. So that way if your channel gets deleted, you have a backup channel ready to go, and you can re-upload your deleted videos that they deleted on that channel. You can re-upload those at a later date as classics. Okay? That's what you could have done. And you should have thought ahead. Obsidian thinks ahead. Obsidian always thought ahead. Obsidian always had backup channels and stuff like that and stuff going on, you know. But it's just a matter of foresight. You know. And I think that's what the Grinch is going to have to learn. He's going to have to learn that as he's on here, someone somewhere is going to find you problematic. You know. Even if you feel that you're in the right. You know. You know. And because I actually was subscribed to the Grinch, even though, like I said, I watched a little bit of his videos. You know. Okay, I watched a little. I watched a little bit of his videos. Okay, I watched a little bit of his videos. Okay, when he first started, but then I said, like I said, I was turned off by the low class nature of it, and the you know, the hood ass nature of it, and I felt that the Grinch wasn't a guy that was trying to elevate himself. I felt that he was a guy that was existing in a certain space, and he may have been doing well for himself in that space, but he wasn't trying to elevate himself to the next plane. I think he was just existing, and he was happy where he was existing. He wasn't trying to upgrade his mindset, you know. And that's another thing. He was stuck in that hood, you know, group home, hood ass mindset. And that's another thing. It brings me to his whole military career. You know, a lot of people were saying that he wasn't in the Navy long. I say he was only in there for like, what, 4 years? And from the information that I heard that he had a low rank the whole time he was in there. He never advanced up the ranks. He had like some low rank in there the whole time he was in there. He never advanced up. So the question then becomes, well, why did he have that low rank? Now, I remember I think this was a BGS hangout, probably fall of last year when he first started coming on, and and that kind of stuff. He talked about his time in the Navy, and some of the stuff that he said was kind of disturbing. He was talking about niggas was on the ship doing all kind of fuck shit. They was dealing drugs. They was doing all kind of stuff they wasn't supposed to be doing. He was getting disciplined constantly by his superiors for little shit he was doing, and he was getting kicked out of his little division that he was in and put in another division and constantly getting punished. It didn't seem like he was in there. It didn't seem like he was carrying himself very well in there. And that's another issue, you know. You got individuals out here who want to sit up here and talk about other individuals, but then their own life is not in order. You know, their own history and stuff is not necessarily the most spectacular. Now, I know he's young. I'm young myself. There's room to grow and stuff. But don't come on here but you want to come on here and call other grown men simps and other grown men stuff, you know, and that kind of stuff, as if you've never made mistakes. You know what I mean? You have to think about that. You have to look at it like that. You know, that whole type of thing. But, you know, you have to always, you just got to take those types of things into account. Okay? So his channel's gone. They flagged him down. A lot of people said that there were people who were jealous of him because of his book. I don't know how deep that goes. I know when that book dropped, that's kind of when he started, it seemed like a lot of people started attacking him when that book dropped. Which is why I told you I want to read that book. Yeah, I want to read that book. I'm going to go ahead and order it. You know, but it seemed like when that book dropped, that's when he started getting all these attacks. And that's another thing, is when you're on YouTube and you're making these videos and stuff, whether you like it or not, you are a public figure. You are a public figure. I am a public figure. City of Truth 91 is a public figure, whether I like it or not. Okay? And you have to know that whatever it is that you might say, or whatever it is that you might do, or whatever it is that you might feel, okay, about certain things, that whatever it is, okay, you know, there's a chance someone's gonna come and criticize it and look at it, or even attack you for it. Okay, and you have to anticipate that. It comes with the territory. You can't just be a crybaby and start crying when you get attacked. Okay, because someone else has a disagreement in your narrative. You can't do that. You know. And when you look at the people you surround yourself with, a lot of those guys in the Black Order, I'm not a big fan of Angry Man. I'm not a big fan of the way Angry Man carries himself, to be quite honest. You know? I feel that the Angry Man could carry himself better. I think there's a chance he could carry himself better. There's a chance he could, and that kind of thing. But I'm not a big fan of that guy and the way he carries himself. Okay? But you surround yourself with guys who aren't really trying to make you better, but they like you, so they give you a certain position on their team. But these guys are not really trying to make you think or make you challenge or make yourself better. I feel that when the Grinch came on, these guys they liked him. They liked his mindset, his background. They related to him. So they gave him a certain position on their team, but no one tried to kind of coach him or make him better or anything like that. And I just kind of feel like he ended up, falling by the wayside because of it. But then there's another thing to be said about the Grinch's, how should I say it, mindset when it comes to these group dynamics. The Grinch really does believe, okay, or he wants to believe that he feels he's in the right, that he's righteous, that his group is in the right, that they're righteous, and that anyone that doesn't agree with them, deserves kind of what they get. And you can't have that kind of mentality, man. You have that kind of mentality, you're gonna make a lot of enemies, I'm telling you. Okay? You're gonna make a lot of enemies with that kind of mentality. And it is what it is, and I feel that he wasn't ready for that. I feel that he was not ready for all these enemies and stuff to come at him like this. And I don't even think he even thought his channel would get deleted like that, to be honest. I don't think he anticipated it at all. I think that the Grinch God P was caught completely by surprise. Because you see, when you're out there making all these videos and you calling niggas simps and you attacking all these niggas, it could have been any one of these niggas out here who you didn't talk about and roasted that did this. And you will never know, because there's no way for certain of knowing exactly why it is your video got taken down. There's no 100% way for certain to know that. Okay? Because YouTube doesn't divulge that information. You can only speculate. Okay? You could only speculate. Okay? And I think dude kind of smelled himself. I think that he got on, he achieved early success, And remember, at one point, he didn't even have a channel. At one point, he was just over there hanging out in the BGS hangouts at one point. He was just over there kicking it, hanging out at one point. He didn't even have a channel. Okay, but people liked him, so he decided, okay, I'll make a channel. He got a lot of support initially. And that whole type of thing. You know. And what have you. You know, but initially he didn't even have a channel. Okay, but he got his channel. Okay. And he got success, and he started going around, oh, I can go attack this person. I can go attack that person. Oh, you know, the Black Order will back me up. BGS will back me up. The Gray Faulkner initiative will back me up. I got an army behind me. I got an army of supporters and stuff behind me. They'll back me up. Okay? But he did not anticipate this. He had no action plan. He did not anticipate that no matter how much his homies and stuff may have cared about him, or how passionate they may have been about him, there was nothing they could do to protect him against the mediation machinery of YouTube. YouTube decides they want to come in and mediate you, or they want to go look at who flagged your video and deal with you in that way. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, it is what it is. There's not a whole lot you can do about it at that point. You know, when they come for you, they come for you. You know. And you have to anticipate. I got a number of channels on here. I'm going to start posting stuff on some of these other channels I have. You know, I've been slowing around, procrastinating. But I also have a blog too. Shout out to my blog. Go check my blog. The link to it is right there on my channel page. Just click on the blogger icon. But go check my blog out. Okay. But like I said, you have to watch whatever it is that you do. And if you got guys around you who all they do is tell you that you great, that you cool, that they down with you, that they fuck with you, but they're not really trying to warn you about certain pitfalls and stuff, then that's the point when you need to reevaluate certain things. You need to consider reevaluating. You know. Now, I do believe he's going to come back. He'll have some other channel up at some point. If he already has one up, I don't know about it yet. Because like I said, I don't follow this guy like that. You know, I don't really follow him like that. You know. But it is what it is. You know. But stop going at Suge, man. That's just advice, man. Don't go at Suge. Because Suge ain't no one to play with, man. Suge get you messed up, man. Okay, just look at Taz and Nyla. Their whole empire has crumbled now. They're done. Taz and Nyla are done. They're finished. They might as well stick a fork in their ass. And if you don't want that to be you as well, Grinch, I think that you should heed to what I'm saying. You know. And what have you. You know, but reevaluate. Don't be like Taz. Actually learn. Actually learn from your mistakes. You don't have to be like Taz. Don't come back with your next channel and calling people strags again and telling women that they ain't shit and they worthless like your mama and you know, telling everybody that's not in the Gray Faulkner initiative that they pussies and all that. Because you know what? You doing that, you just gonna make all these motherfuckers just come at you and come after you. You know what I mean? That's what's gonna happen with that. All these motherfuckers just gonna come after you. You know? And that's not a good thing. You don't want a bunch of niggas coming after you that have all this pent up resentment and hatred on you, because what's gonna happen is what's happening to you is what's happening to Taz right now. Your second channel gonna get deleted, gonna get taken down. Then what are you gonna say? Okay. You know. But like I said, like I never followed him. His content never appealed to me. It's too low class. It's not the type of content that I aspire to as a man. You know, the way the Grinch views himself as a man is not the way that I view myself as a man. The type of man that he is not the type of man that I aspire to or want to be. So as a result of that, I'm never going to follow a guy like that. I'm never going to follow a nigga like that, ever. Okay, because a nigga like that, number one, I'm not interested, but number two, he got nothing for me. He's not going to lead me to a place that I want to be. There's a certain place that I want to be. Okay, there's a certain place in time that I want to be as a man. City of Truth 91. There's a certain place I want to be. And I'm not going to get there with his mindset, with the way that he thinks, and the way that he carries himself. It's not for me. Now, I know there's other guys out there, it may be for them, but I know it's not for me, so that's why I'm not going to follow his channel. Another thing I noticed is the Grinch seems to get real agitated when people don't follow his channel. Or when people don't rock with him. That seems to bother him. That should never bother you. Why should something like that bother you? Why should the opinion of someone else, you know, the personal opinion of other people affect you? That makes no sense. That's very childish to me. That you got to go out there all the time and attack, you know, people because they're not going along with your program or with your mindset or whatever it is, what have you. You know, that's problematic to me. You know, that's something you're going to have to come off of. You're going to have to come off of that. You know, if he wants to last in the future and what have you. You know, but that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one out. Let me know what y'all think. Leave comments, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace.